encouraging different play styles from the players, which means diversifying that map pool a bunch. So Overgrowth, a relatively newer map as far as Blizzard adding it into the ladder map pool recently. What can you tell us about this map?
Think about StarCraft as like, and for a lot of people this is not that much of a leap, but think of it as your girlfriend or your boyfriend. If you were to...
Okay, that's difficult, but I'll try really hard.
Use your imagination. If you were to play or wear the same clothes all the time, it would be really boring eventually, and probably dirty. And then there's hygiene issues, of course, as well.
Yes.
You always think about health. But by changing it up all the time, you're keeping it fresh, you're keeping it new. You can get really old, and you can still wear those skin-tight, boot-cut jeans, and then all of a sudden you're still really old and looking weird, but new, you know, and clean, and most importantly, not starting rashes from hygiene issues. Isn't that right,
and to bring that back to the ladder point there, or the new maps, it's important to maybe change it up a little bit. At least Blizzard thinks, which I think is just fine. But here we are on Overgrowth. Who's that in the top right, Mr. In Control?
Okay, I'll do the player introductions. We'll save Axitas's voice, see if he can make it into halfway through the day.
We'll see.
The top right-hand side, leading 1-0 in this best of 3. Wearing the blue, it's Evil Genius's Jaedong. And his opponent, with some flashy, cool play, needing to close out a win here to get to that game number 3. It is the Metrosexual State Pride. People not super sure how to cheer for that one, so I was making one. I'm not. Yesterday I said, State, you're looking very metrosexual, and he thanked me. He said I was going for that, and he's pulling it off at pro gamer level, I feel.
So for those in the audience who are watching that might be confused by that term, can you paint us a little picture of...
Yes.
Okay.
People from the city
are
very fashionable and not as rugged. People like Axitas that grew up on ranches, farms, and spend time outside are what we call sexual. Just sexual.
Got it.
Not metrosexual.
You see, why go to school when you can just watch StarCraft and learn about new terms?
That's exactly right. I seek to educate.
Are we
going to overhaul? If I wasn't going to be a StarCraft 2 pro, I was going to be a teacher in high school.
You're kind of a teacher right now, I think.
I feel like I am.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's great.
Part of my life is achieved. Now, we have a much safer opening from Jaedong this time around. Obviously, last game, it wasn't the opening that we looked to see why he fell behind earlier on, but here we are with him saying, I don't know if I do the same thing against this guy. He might try to jump all over us. He's going to go with the more traditional 15 spawning pool, 15 hatch. This is the safe of safe builds reserved. And on the flip side, 1 gasp, probably expand coming out from our Protoss player State.
Yeah, the Nexus going down. So he's scouting with his probe at the same exact time. He's going to see the little bit of a difference. He's a pro player. He can tell that this 3rd hatchery is going to be a little bit late and that it's not going to be 3 hatch before pool. So how do you think State kind of adjusts to this? Do we see him kind of pulling back a little bit, not going for as fast of a 3rd base? And how much does the map kind of play into that decision?
That's a really good point. It certainly is a possibility. We see this 1 gas opening versus the 2 gas opening for game number 1. To your point, perhaps because he says, hey, if you go 3 hatch before spawning pool again, I will drop 3 more gates and we'll do this thing. We'll do a 4 gate. Even with the expand, it's still very hard for Zerg to hold off. It's going to be mostly Lings and Queens, and if the fight continues on long enough, you'll eventually see Roaches for the most part. But as we can see here, to your point, State is going to see the timing of that hatchery and say, no, I'm not entirely sure that I want to try that. He's even going to sneak a probe out here, but unfortunately it gets scoped out by this Overlord. We missed it on camera, but it was the lower left-hand side one. It was making its way around the minerals because it wanted to be sneaky, but that Overlord right there, that big fat jerk, he saw everything.
You don't know the personality of that Overlord, man. You can't call him a jerk.
Overlord personality?
Yeah, man.
Are you kidding me?
You've never had a...
I've been spending years with Overlords. I've been since I was 12 years old.
Really?
Yeah. They're slow. They gurgle at you all the time. You want them to stick around longer than they do. When they die like a zit. I mean, what is there to defend their...
Did you ever really get to know your Overlord friends, though, Jeff?
No. They don't. They just gurgle, like I said.
Surely they're trying to communicate something to you. But anyway, a pylon coming down in the top left. and that's going to be spotted. This is a very important part for Zerg players. We saw in the last game, the last map, I should say, huge map. Jaedong had the Zerglings patrolling everywhere. No excuses here. He sees that pylon, and now he's going to react. Has 14 lings in production, a spine crawler in production, so definitely a little bit scared about what State is throwing at him.
I like the spine crawler because he needs to take this serious. He does not have speed. He built the, I mean, he's getting gas now. He's actually going to skip speed, go straight to Roaches. That's also a good choice. Basically, this timing attack is real. It's very strong, very fast from State. And, you know, you and I talked about earlier perhaps not going through with this because Jaedong did do the safer third. This is going to give him access to earlier gas, that kind of thing. But he says, no, I'm going for it. And Zergling's going to try to get us around with those Stalkers are going to be able to fall back off creep. Zealot's dying, but honestly, it's Zergling's trading for Zealots with Stalkers behind dealing damage. Not bad for State. State's in good position here again.
Yeah, State's pretty happy right now. The Roach Warren just now completing. Still only Zerglings in production here for Jaedong. Let's see how State backs this up. We got some more Zealots coming in. Remember, only one gas behind this, so this is a pretty significant investment by State in that he's not necessarily proceeding into the tech he's going to want as the game goes along. So wants to do a lot of damage here. Takes down another Queen, targeting down an Overlord. Not able to take him out. He's going to back up. He's going to retreat, and I think Jaedong might have enough to cause State to turn around. But
here's where it gets scary. It's only 4 Stalkers. You really want more Stalkers than that to deal with Roaches, and the Roaches have come out. Zealots can get the job done, but on creep, those Roaches can kite back. There's Jaedong doing just that now. That being said, though, we see that the Zealots are able to sandwich in against those Roaches. Jaedong with kind of a slip in control is not doing anything about that. And now the Stalker count's getting reinforced. One of the final Queens is dying. The Motion Core is up there killing drones. State's doing a great job with this.
And he's kind of transitioning behind this at the same time. 3 more gases were added. A Robo was added. He's still making probes. He might even try to get a third during this. Like, State is in a really good position, pressuring the heck out of Jaedong's third base. Jaedong wondering what he can do, trying to make as many units as possible. But these units are not drones for Jaedong.
No.
So...
And with that transition behind this, I mean, you point out something very important. If he's able to get this third, does State, and it looks like he might not. But even then, the amount of damage he's done with these Immortals coming out, it's not War Prism, it's not Observers, then Immortals, it's straight Immortals. You need to have answers to that. Things like huge amounts of Roaches or Hydras or huge amounts of Speed Links, but all of which Jaedong does not really have access to because, as you said, it's not drones coming out. It's more units just trying to survive. State is carving out for himself a fantastic position.
So he's definitely going for a 2-base. I hate to say the word all in after this very aggressive move where he's going to stop making probes, stopping at 46, 2-base full saturation, powering out Immortals, and we're going to see him march across the map with these guys. And again, we're in a situation where Jaedong would love to have 3 bases full of drones, but he's been having to deal with this aggression. He's been having to mix and match, remake drones, remake units, trying to guess what the heck State is doing. And now we're in a position where State can do a very powerful push here, and Jaedong is going to have a beautiful
is a word for
defense.
it, but honestly, it's going to be doomsday. I mean, if you look, Jaedong's saying, okay, I guess I go with Roach Speed because it's obviously too late to start to go Hydralist. There's no way he would ever have access to a meaningful number of that. And even then, I mean, look at this. It's 3 Immortals with, I believe, a 4th. No, it's not going to be a 4th, or is there a 4th up there? No, it's 3 Immortals. With 3 Immortals, pack a punch. They're super powerful. War Prism coming out behind us just to make sure he has access to that. And to make matters worse, Jaedong going to get caught here with these slow Roaches. He needs to try to tuck tail and run, but it might not be enough.
Every unit is so important here for Jaedong. He knows what's going on at this point. He's throwing down 2 Spine Crawlers, making nothing but Roaches and Lings. He doesn't have Circling Speed, which is going to make this very difficult to defend. These Roaches might get trapped.
Yeah, it's a foregone conclusion. They're trapped. He's going to get a couple sentries for his effort, and he's buying time, which is as close as I can get turning this crown upside down. For the most part, that was 9 or so Roaches dead for 3 Force Fields, 2 sentries, which is, you know, okay, but as you said, every unit counts. It's Jaedong that's behind the units right now. It's Jaedong, they can't afford to be losing units. Every single unit has to go do something super important.
Jaedong just trying to buy time at this point, but this army from State is just not getting any smaller. Warping in so many units behind this. He has a bunch of gateways down behind this, so he's able to do that. And now just trying to choose a path to crush
Jaedong. I was going to say, I really like the attack angle he was coming at it. It's so narrowed. and the hatch kind of helps block space. So I understand what State's doing. He wants to keep Jaedong moving so that, you know, he can make a mistake. The spine crawlers don't get rooted in time. You know, there's some more wide open space here. I don't know, but honestly, I thought he had a great angle, and this one's actually worse. We're gonna see if that's right or not. Sentry's kind of at the front. Force's pushing him back, though. Spine crawlers disintegrate, and now Roaches are sitting behind Force. Here comes the counterattack. They're trying to do something, but they're just picking up the. He's not even actually picking up the Immortals. He doesn't need to. State's just powering through this.
A good attempt at a surround there from Jaedong, but it's a situation where you're surrounding Immortals with Roaches. You're getting that surface area, but these units are just so powerful. The 3 Immortals still very much alive. Kill counts 9, 8, and 7. They are the MVP of this push. But Jaedong is holding his own. He's still powering out a bunch of Lynx, powering out a bunch of Roaches. Does he have enough to shove this away?
Well, if he's got a surge, it's going to be right now. But as you said, those Immortals staying alive, even using the Warp Prism to preserve the life of one targeted down Immortal. Fantastic control from State. And in the midst of that, let's not forget, a lot of the drones were pulled to try to survive that. That's going to take the wind out of the sails of Jaedong's ability to mine. His transfer drones were just made to his natural to try to bump that production back up again. But with 3 Immortals still standing, every Roach that comes out is coming out into a very dangerous world. Jaedong's going to make another shove of it. Zealot's getting the sandwich up there, though. And again, the Immortals are untouched. Jaedong falls, and State ties up the series.
We got a series on our hands, ladies and gents.